Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips, and today we're in Montenegro, and we just wanted to do a quick intro and show you a little bit of what we've been seeing. So first of all, if you're not familiar, Kotor, Montenegro is at the end of a very long sail-in, a very deep harbor, and right here is the Regal Princess. She is at anchor today, and so they are running the little tenders, and they're just using the local boats, as you can kind of see right there. And we got here at 7 this morning, and sail away is at 3 o'clock, and so the last tender is leaving at 2 o'clock. And you catch the tenders right over here. And the Rhodes Scholar Aegean Odyssey is in port with us today. I'm not familiar with that cruise line. I'll have to look it up. And then right here we've got a World War II monument to all of the people from this region, our tour guide said, who lost their lives in World War II. And it's just beautiful, the sculpting, the relief sculpture here around the base. It's just beautiful. And then we'll just circle on around so that you can see these beautiful mountains. And incidentally, these look just like the mountains where we live. It's just uncanny, but absolutely spectacular. So very beautiful here. And then back around here, we took an excursion this morning. It was called, let's see, Prost and Boca Bay, and they took us out to Our Lady of the Rocks Islanding Church, which you can't really see from here, but we got to see Our Lady of the Rocks Church, which I absolutely love. I've been there, maybe this is my 4th time, and I just thoroughly enjoy that. And then they took us over to the small town of Prost, and we just got to walk around and try their almond cake, which is very special to this region. The tour guide said you cannot even Google and find the actual recipe, that it is just passed down from generation to generation, and it was absolutely delicious. So we did that and just walked around. I did notice that compared to pre-COVID, there are more like hotels now. They've got a couple of more hotels there, but there are really not so many shops as there used to be, and so maybe hopefully that will come back for people as they get their feet on them again after COVID. So I just wanted to let you know that. And now we are just going to walk over, just straight right this way is not very far at all, is the walled city of Kotor. It was built by it was walled by the Venetians, I believe, a really long time ago. It is a medieval city, and it is protected by UNESCO now. So we're just going to walk over there, and if it's quiet enough, we'll say hi there. Otherwise, we'll just insert a little bit of footage for you. So just come with us. So right here is where you come along. If you go to the end of the pier when you get off the ship and walk, turn left, and come into this little park, I just wanted to show you that right along here there are lots of places you can sign up for walking tours, Blue Cave tours. You don't know what the Blue Cave is? It's like kind of like what do they call it on Capri? Like when you go in the Blue Grotto, and it's like that quite a bit. But then also you can just have boat tours, speedboat tours, just speedboat rides, kind of whatever you want. They are really happy to do different tours here, and so I got some information we'll put on our website about those too, but I just wanted to show you how easy it is to do things on your own here. And then we're just going to walk right up here. Right here you can even see the walls of the city right there. So I just wanted to show you really quick, this is the wall of the city of Kotor. It is a walled city the whole way around, and this water is beautiful. There's a family that lives over here, and I just wanted to show you how beautiful it is. We're just having a lovely day, and thanks for coming along. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips, and I hope that you really enjoyed the introduction that we did over in Kotor, Montenegro earlier today. We had the best day today. Like I mentioned, we had a wonderful excursion. It took us out to Our Lady of the Rocks Church out on its own little island out there in the bay. It's right next to St. George Island, which is not open for visitors, but we got to see it, and it is really beautiful with the pretty green trees and everything. Then they took us over to Perast and we got to try the yummy almond cake. That wasn't part of the excursion, but our guide recommended it, and so we did, and it was absolutely delicious. And we just walked around and saw the pretty waterfront area right along there. It is a medieval town and it has stood there for centuries. It is absolutely beautiful, and I highly recommend that excursion. They take you out all the way down the bay, and it's around one of the corners there. If you look at a map, I think there's 5 hooks or 4. But anyway, turns to get clear in to Kotor. It is absolutely beautiful, and this was like around one of the corners, and so it was just so beautiful. Then we went into town. It's really close to walk from where they let you off the little boat that they take you on out there, and we had a wonderful lunch. It was in one of the little places right next to St. Tryphon's Cathedral, and when Gordon went back in to see that it was just this cute little grandma back there whipping everything up, and she probably grew the tomatoes, or someone close by did, because they were absolutely delicious in the Greek salad. And we got a pizza, so that was really fun. We did visit the cathedral. I can't remember I told you that. We looked in some shops and just had a lot of fun walking up and down like it's a little just a little winding area of all these little narrow streets, since it is a medieval town, and it was really fun. We highly recommend going there. If you didn't catch us on our sail away, you might want to take a look if you haven't been to Kotor, Montenegro, because the scenery truly is just breathtaking, and it was really wonderful. So thank you to all who joined us, and if you haven't seen it yet, you might want to take a look. Now we've got some really big news, and it's just really actually brand new news. The Island Princess. Princess has just announced that on the current sailing for the Island Princess, they have had enough COVID cases identified between crew and passengers that they are now asking everyone on the current voyage to please wear their masks indoors all the time, except for when they are eating or drinking, and outdoors when they are in a large group. It said that all of the cases are either asymptomatic or very light symptoms, and so we're not having hospitalizations over this or anything, but they are asking passengers to go ahead and wear their masks for this voyage. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens on the next voyage, and as we go along, I honestly think that, you know, right now we've got another like a variant on Omicron going around, and my guess is there's going to be one after that, and so we'll just have to see how things go. If you missed my video yesterday, we've got the northbound and southbound cruises between Whittier, which is right by Anchorage there in Alaska, down to Vancouver. Those sailings, you also have to wear your mask indoors except for when you're eating or drinking. The next very important thing that you need to know for Alaska, if you are going to go this summer on a cruise that departs and is like round trip from Vancouver, or is, you know, like from Whittier to Vancouver, and you're going to end up in Vancouver and want to travel home, remember that if you do flights, then you need to be sure that you have lined up in your mind how you're going to get your COVID test to fly back to the US. The United States still has the rule that you have to do a COVID test within 1 day of coming back home in order, well, or even if you're not coming home, but coming to the United States, you've got to do that COVID test. Now, if you cross at a land border, as I have mentioned so many times before, you can take a shuttle that takes you from the point, like from SeaTac, the Seattle airport, up to the port of Vancouver, and then at the end of your cruise it'll take you back, or vice versa, so that you can get flights home from Seattle, or I shouldn't just say home, sorry, you can get flights from Seattle to another point in the United States, and you don't have to be tested to go across that land border. They do say that they do random testing on any travel going either direction that Canada does, but I have not heard from anyone of that happening on any of the shuttles of passengers trying to go on a cruise. And so we are hearing though from several people that when they try to book a Princess shuttle, a Princess transfer as they're called, that they don't have any available. I'm hearing this a lot from people who are trying to go and book these in August and September is what I'm hearing the most. So one of our Let's Go family members, Mary, was so kind to comment that there is a shuttle service that does the exact same thing. It's called Quick Shuttle, just Quick Shuttle. quickshuttle.com. And so look at that if you want. And then I also looked around because I thought we might need more than one. And the one that I found is called Ride Booker. And I'll have Gordon put that link under this video. It is literally ridebooker.com, and I think it's $63 each way, and it does the same thing. It will pick you up at the airport in Seattle, take you to the port there in Vancouver, and then at the end of the cruise you can book it back. You know, you can buy it either one way or you can buy it a round trip, and I think it's a really good solution, because if Princess has sold out what availability they've got and they have not added any more buses, then we're going to have a lot of people that want that option but aren't able to do it. And so I was really pleased that to see that there are other affordable options that will work good for you. And so write that down and keep it in mind just in case you need it. So in addition to having those changes in Alaska, we also received the news today that effective June 17th, Princess is closing their Copper River Wilderness Lodge because they simply don't have enough staff to run all of their lodges. And so we have had several Let's Go family members let us know that they have been affected by these changes. What Princess is offering is you have the option to cancel the land tour and the cruise, get a refund, and then you get a 25% future cruise credit to use on a future trip with them, so that you could book it for next year or whenever you would like. Then, well, I'm sure that there is an expiration date to those future cruise credits, but anyway, that's an option. Or they will let you go ahead and still go on the cruise portion this year of your trip, and that way they will give you the cruise fare for free. Then you will still have to pay like your port fees and taxes, gratuities. If you want the Princess Plus package, you need to pay for that. And then they also, of course, you've got to pay for your flights, but they are offering the cruise fare for free. And so of the people that have let me know about it, it sounds like they're all trying to decide what they're going to do. So I would love to hear from all of you about what you decide to do with this. If you're going to go ahead and go on the cruise portion this year, or if you're going to just hold off and do everything together next year or something. So I'm really sorry for all of you that have extra special vacations booked with that. I know that to go on those land cruise tours, it's expensive, and often families do them as an extra special vacation. And so I hope that something works out okay and that you're able to do something extra special together this year anyway. Now, along with that, we do have some updates from people who are on some cruises up there in Alaska, and we've got some other updates as well. And I will admit, here on the cruise ship I don't have my normal system for keeping track of things that I do at home, and so thank you very much for your kindness in sticking with me. Now, I also want to add, if you have not tried to book a Princess transfer yet for your cruise that you want to try to go from Seattle up to Vancouver, or if you end in Vancouver and you want that shuttle to get down to SeaTac for your flight, I would call and ask first. When you go, I do have a video about how to book a Princess transfer, and I'll have Gordon enter it, just put it under this video so that you can see it and see where to look on the website. But when we went to book that, it was not showing up. And so we had a call, and when you call, you just say what you want, give them your credit card number, and they'll book it for you. And so I would definitely try that first. But those other great resources are for when you call and they do not have any reservations left. And so wanted to make that super clear. I also will just add, if you missed my other video for Holland America and the cruise that we're going to go on June 25th, I did book the transfer for us. So we are going to fly into Seattle, and then we're going to take the Holland America transfer up to the port there in Vancouver, because the cruise is round trip out of Vancouver. So that's just a little explanation for you there on that. Alrighty, we have an update from someone that just got off the Discovery Princess. They said that they had an amazing time, that the food was great, the entertainment was great, the crew was great, just everything went really smoothly on their cruise. So if you've got something on the Discovery Princess, it sounds like things will go really well. And we also have another update from someone else who is on the Discovery Princess right now. Chad was so nice to send us this update, and when they're going through the inside passage, it's their very first cruise, so they didn't have anything to compare it to, but he said the service, most of the food, and the ship have been wonderful, and they are really covering a lot of ground. So far they have eaten in Gigi's Pizzeria, which is kind of the equivalent of Alfredo's, the Crown Grill, the Salty Dog Gastropub, and the World Fresh Marketplace, and they have all been great. They had room service for breakfast, and that wasn't so great, so they're not going to do that again. He said the staff and the crew are amazing and doing the best they can. They have a club class mini suite, and it's been really wonderful, and so they would do that again in a heartbeat. And he said that in talking to other passengers and the crew, they say that, yeah, the Medallion Class app really does not work all that great, and they need to work on it. He said that we've already had one of their medallions had to be replaced, as it was constantly showing him in his stateroom, so he couldn't order any drinks or food delivered to him because they always thought he was in his stateroom. And also, and we found this as well, it says that the gift shop is sold out of ship models and Stanley Bears, which is a little disappointing, but not the end of the world. They did point out that the ship is gorgeous, and they did say that as far as everything with how the app wasn't working for them, they called that part of the cruise an IT nightmare, but they're not letting it get in the way of having a wonderful time. And so I would also say here on the Regal Princess, there are no Stanley Bears to buy. There's these funny little you know, those kind of little marshmallowy round things that are kind of popular now, and I think of them as children's toys. I don't know if other people collect them or not, but they have some of those of Stanley, but it's just kind of like a really rounded thing, but they don't have any normal Stanley Bears, and I was going to be looking for the moose for Linda, and they don't have anything. None. And so I wonder if this is a supply chain problem. But they also, so we'd like to hear from any of you who have any Stanley Bears on the ships that you've been on. Maybe that will help people know what to kind of look for. Another update that we have had is from Hetty, and she was just on the Eurodom, Holland America's ship, up to Alaska, and she was replying, as yesterday we were talking about, wondering what any ideas anybody has for trying to stay safe from COVID when you're on a cruise ship. And she mentioned that on her ship, like less than 5% of people wore their masks, but she was vigilant and wore her mask. And it made me stop and think, you know, we started out really vigilant on this ship, and then I kind of fell off. And it really wasn't because I don't value masks. It was more because I was really hot. And that's not a good excuse. And so we're trying to do better and appreciate that reminder. But also, she pointed out that it really helps some, you know, it makes sense if you spend a little bit more time in your cabin and on your balcony, or if you don't have a balcony, like you could be up on the open decks more, because, you know, the air circulates so much as we're moving through the water. And so I really appreciated her mentioning that, and we truly have been doing that a lot more on this cruise. We've done it actually more than ever before on all of the cruises that we have been on since the restart, but we just have really enjoyed being in our cabin, thoroughly enjoyed having a balcony, and so I wanted to add that. And one other Let's Go family member reminded us all to wash our hands, and I appreciate that. Hand washing is a really good idea, even when you don't have COVID going on, but I really appreciate everyone who chimed in and added some good ideas on that. So thank you, and thank you, Hetty. I am really glad that you had such a nice cruise on the Eurodom. The next thing that I wanted to remind everybody is our Let's Go family member Kathy put in the reminder, as we've been talking about Princess Easy Air tickets and the option that you've got to book early, to ask for early ticketing. It's really important to remember that probably takes away the flexibility. Usually when you book a flexible fare with Princess Easy Air, you have up until 45 days before you fly to make any changes that you want. If the price drops, you can rebook it. If you change what day you want to go, then you can change it. Things like that. But once you have it ticketed, you probably can't do that. So just keep that in mind so that you don't have your flight ticketed early and then you just want to make changes and you're surprised that you can't. So I just wanted to put that out there. We're still working on ours, so I'll let you know if anything changes, okay? We're just not letting it get us down because we have too much fun to have here. I'm getting a lot of questions about the Ruby Princess. Today on our live, someone else asked, Laura asked, and my favorite thing is two things. Number one, everyone that I am hearing from has been very pleased with the Ruby Princess as of late. I think the only complaint that I have heard that we hear often now on Princess is that the food is not as good as it used to be. And so I don't think that that's a deal breaker. But everyone else, it seems like, is having a wonderful cruise on the Ruby Princess. Things seem to be going really well. And our Let's Go family members, Code 4 for Life, they have a channel. And just know that it's code and then the number 4 and then for life. But they post videos about their sailings, and they have just been on the Ruby Princess. So it is worth taking a look at their channel just to give you an idea of what's going on and what their experience has been. But they have been very pleased as well. The internet's slow though. I remember them saying the internet is slow, but I think it's very standard that the internet is slow right now on Princess ships, especially in Europe. Especially in Europe, it's much slower than we are accustomed to. So just be aware of that as you go. Another thing that I am hearing a lot of is a lot of you are having a lot going on with your Princess Easy Air flights. One Let's Go family member mentioned that theirs has been canceled 6 times, and they have not even gone on their trip yet. And so just really keep your eye on your flights, and don't forget, because you might get to the airport and not have a flight. Another really important tip, I think, to help you when you are sailing anywhere that you need to be worried about a test at disembarkation is we are hearing a lot of times that the internet on the ships is too slow to be able to do that video phone call or the video internet call, using data, or and then when you're out to sea, it's too far away to try to use your phone. And so just keep in mind that you can go ahead if you have to and do it the day before. And so if you are in port the day before, whether you're in Victoria, Canada, or if you are in some other port in Europe or wherever you need, and you need to do that test to get back into the US, make sure that you just have in mind that you could do it the day before in another place rather than only at disembarkation. I have heard from 3 other people who disembarked the ship in Athens this last week that did not get the testing that they expected to get from Princess. And so be sure that you are aware that, like at the Athens airport, they do testing 24/7. It is always open there. And just as we were walking around just down in the center part of town, I saw several pharmacies and on all of them they had a little sign that they do COVID testing. A lot of hotels also, I am finding, do COVID testing if you ask, or else they will tell you where to go. So if you are going to stay overnight at a place, ask them if they've got a place that does COVID testing as well, if you need to do that. Once again, Gordon and I have our eMed ones with us that we ordered from Optum, and we're getting off the ship Saturday, flying home Sunday, so we are just going to do those tests in our hotel room on Saturday evening before we fly home on Sunday. So just kind of think through your mind how you're going to handle all of that. The last thing that I want to talk to you about is our Let's Go family member Tammy posted over on our Facebook group. So if you're not in our Facebook group, hurry up and come and join us. It's just Let's Go Travel Tips on Facebook. And she is wondering, so they right now have booked the White Pass, dog sledding, and gold panning excursion in Skagway. She is wondering, do any of you have any experience with just renting a car in Skagway and driving up into the Yukon and hopefully seeing a lot of wonderful scenery and sights as you go? Has anyone done that, or can you comment on that? Anything that would be helpful for her, we would really appreciate it. There have been a few replies over on Facebook, but I wanted to put it out there to see if we could get any more. So if you have any experience with that, we would really appreciate hearing from you. There are 2 other things that I wanted to make sure that you're aware of really quick. Number 1, Canada and thereby Princess and the other cruise lines are only allowing medical exemptions from vaccines. So if you have got a cruise booked that goes to Canada and you have an exemption from Princess, but it's not a medical exemption, meaning that it is not a letter that your doctor would sign, then you're probably going to have to cancel your cruise. Our Let's Go family member Renee had her cruise booked for June 19th and had to cancel it because hers is not a medical exemption. So if you have an exemption and it is not a medical exemption, take a look at that and talk to Princess and make sure that you're still going to be able to go if your ship calls in Canada or if it leaves or returns to Canada, just to make sure that you are very much aware of that. The other thing is having a lot of people ask me if I know how many people are quarantined on this ship. I don't. I will. Should we maybe ask tomorrow when we go down to customer service to check on our flights again? I'll try to remember to ask. I don't know if they will tell. I have no idea how many people are quarantined. I heard that the Majestic Princess had 55 cabins, and that is maybe why they have to have the mask mandate, but we don't have that on our ship, and I don't get the impression that it's overwhelmed. There's still lots and lots of people here on the ship out and about, but if anybody has heard about any other ships, let us know. But I don't know how many are quarantined on our ship. So if I hear, I will let you know. And I just want to add here, and I hope I don't say it too often, but you know what, if the thought of COVID like unglues you, like it would really, really, really worry you, then maybe think about going another time. And I don't mean to put off forever things that are important to you, but at the same time, I don't want you to go on a trip and then you get really upset if you test positive. I don't want us to get a COVID, but if one of us tested positive, I'd be more just sad than worried about COVID itself. But you have to kind of see where you stand, because where I stand on some things is different from other people, and we're all just different. But since it's vacation, we should enjoy it and be happy and not stressed out about it. So I just wanted to remind everybody about that. You all are the very best. I really appreciate you sticking with me through all of these updates, and I hope that you find them really helpful. If you haven't subscribed yet, would you please subscribe and give it a thumbs up if you appreciate these updates. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.